Good people, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another installment of the SportsRap podcast right here on Heat 100 Radio. Hope everyone can hear me clear and right in there, but I got to take a second here to get you. I'm going to go off the IG for a second, but I got to come back. I'm talking to my guy here, and he got here when he got here. I'm just going to let him know what I need to let him know, but it's a lot that we got to get to today, and we are going to get to it. It's open, Mel. The door's open. So yeah, we got to get back to this. Let me get myself right again. All right. Now we not paused. Come on back, everybody that was here. Let's be reconnecting. Come on back. So again, like I said, folks, welcome to another installment of the SportsRap podcast right here on Heat 100 Radio, heat100radio.com. You can also get us on the TuneIn app. Just search Heat 100 Radio. So, we know what today is. Today's Monday. Yeah, of course, we know that. Everybody can be funny if they will or whatnot. But we know what it is. It's the day after we know what? The Sixers debacle. And I say debacle because that's exactly what it was. And there are so many avenues, so many ways that people can discuss it. And I'm going to give you today, everything that I give you today is going to be my observance, my points of view, and my thoughts only. And I'm going to tell you how I feel. In my little quick intro, I told you I let everybody know that I was disgusted with yesterday's performance. There's no other way to put it for me right now. I also said that I feel like I'm in the movie Groundhog Day, or I'm back at my grandma's house and, we playing records on vinyl while we're cleaning up, and then that one record just skips. And, that's like now they call it the repeat, but it just stays there. And we keep getting this over and over and over. And a lot of things I said initially within involving this whole matter. See, that's where I'm going to, Brad. So just sit tight for a second. Maybe you might look at it a little different. And I'm not trying to change anybody's mind about the way they feel. No, in no way, shape, or form. I just want you to hear me out and understand where I'm going and what I'm saying. And if you don't, please ask me questions. I'm here for that. Just ask me questions if you will. So like I said, Cuzzo Brad, if you might hear some things today that may just have you thinking a little different. May have you thinking a little bit. The little blue one over there, Mel. It may have you thinking a little different. Now, my cousin Brad just said it go, just put it down. The other way, flat. Yeah, like that. And then it just go in the hands. And my cousin Brad just chimed in on Facebook Live, and he says it's time for a fresh start in Philly. A lot of people are going to go there. A lot of people are, like I talked to, and I'm going to show y'all real quick. I got Mel, my guy, Craig Mellison. We like to call him Raider Rad because he is a Raiders fan. So from time to time, we're going to flip this camera back and forth, and y'all going to be able to see him too. All right? So just so y'all know that. Now, getting back to that, the thing I say with the fresh start, and it's kind of what my partner Baldy brought up earlier or at last night as well. And he was kind of joking about it, and he said people will want to blow it up and do this and do that. And he said if you do that now, then we'll be right back where we were at the start of this whole thing, back at the process. And no one wants to go back there. But one of the things that I said people are going to jump straight to was the firing of the coach. Now, before you jump to conclusions and think, I'm on his side, I'm riding with him. No. Like I said, there is enough to go around all the way across the board. And I've said this before, from players that are on the floor all the way upstairs to the executive suites. It's enough to go around. And if you don't believe me, do your homework. Take a digger deep into the situation and look at the history or the track record from now going back 7-8 years, at least. All right? So, people will say that they want to get rid of the coach, and that's like where people are going to go immediately. That's where they're going to go first. And when they do that, they go right to the coach. And I get it. Like I said, I'm not saying, like I said to Mel this morning, I'm not saying that you don't have that conversation, but I know that conversation is going to happen. I mean, and I'm not saying also that it shouldn't happen. What I'm saying is that the issue with the coaches thing is the fact that they are the easiest to get rid of. All right? And if you don't understand what I mean by that, you need to do some homework, because you got to understand the whole business side too. Like I always tell y'all on this show, players are under contract, yada, yada, yada. In order to move them, you either got to waive them, cut them, where the business loses money, or you make trades and try and facilitate and all that kind of stuff. So it's easy to get rid of the coach because you can fire the coach. And then if the coach has anything left on his salary, y'all can work that out, buy him out, pay him off, whatever, or continue to pay him till the contract is done, whatever, even though he's not there. But it's easier to get rid of the coach. That's the easiest person to get rid of. That's why the coach is normally the scapegoat. But when you look at this team that we're talking about today, the Philadelphia 76ers, I think it would be time for some trades and upgrades. Yeah, but the problem is, going back to when Elton Brand was the GM, and right before that, the bad contracts that are on our books right now are going to make it very, very difficult for us to facilitate trades. And I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's going to make it very difficult. And I know people are going to say it, and they're going to say especially Tobias Harris. And I'll say that too because, like I said, I didn't like that contract. But again, there was nothing I can do about it. But the bottom line is, like I said, in my mental and where I am and what I do here, I understood the reason why he was still here, but I still didn't like the contract. And the crazy thing is, I cannot like the contract, but there's nothing I can do about it. You gotta, I'll get you. Let me take a quick break. I'll get you. And what you got to do is understand that that kind of stuff is going to happen. It's going to happen. That kind of stuff is going to happen. And you got to have enough room to do what you do, whatever. But in that instance with Tobias Harris, yes, it was a bad contract, a very bad contract. But in the whole situation at the time, you had Jimmy Butler and him being free agents. A lot of you might not know Jimmy Butler was not going to stay here anyway due to some coaching and some other background issues. He said it out. He was not going to be returning. He knew it. He wasn't going to come, whether they offered him the money or not. And then at that time, the way that situation played out with those guys coming in when they came in and helping what was already here for that time, you could not, business-wise, you could not let both of them walk. Because at the time, Tobias Harris was playing pretty good. He was borderline, in my opinion, he might have been borderline thought all-star. But he was playing pretty good there. So what I'm going to do real quick, folks, everybody that's here, I'm going to take a quick break real quick, get everything set up, and then we're going to come back and we're going to really get into what we get into. All right, so just sit tight with me for a second. I'll be right back with y'all just 1 second. You might have to check your internet and go on our internet, John, here. But you shouldn't have to do that, though.
I didn't last time.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to come up. It might just be slow.
Shit.
Friend Craig Mellison there with me, Raider Rab, as we call him. He is also on his live. So all of his friends tune in and give us some feedback on this dialogue. So again, everybody that was on the Instagram earlier, peace and love, Rasul 215, Fly Girl Has No Chill. Let's see, Fanny Petite 1990, Johnny Who. All of y'all, come on back. I'm waiting for my regulars. Jay Blake, where you at? I know you got some stuff to talk about. I told my partner Baldy, if he wasn't busy, to try and chime in on this live IG. But we're going to get it done. We're going to do what we do. So again, like I was talking to my cousin Barely Day, and I see he's back on Facebook. Everybody I think immediately goes to the issue with the coach. Because like I said, because the coach is the easiest to get rid of. It's just a thing. That's just the way it is. The coach is the easiest to get rid of. And by the way, real quick, just a quick tidbit. Everybody's talking about the Doc Rivers issues, and I know the issues. Like I said, I'm not saying that he's off the hook. Because like I said, it's enough to go around. Okay, so I'm not saying he's off the hook. But I saw a stat the other day. And you all know I posted it the other day. Monty Williams just got fired. A year ago, or 2 years ago, Monty Williams was the coach of the year. Budenholzer got fired. Quinn Snyder got fired from the Jazz. D'Antoni got fired at one point. When all these coaches got fired, they were all the best team in the NBA record-wise. Record-wise. They were all the best records in the NBA at the time that they were fired. So, we'll see. All right? Well, maybe not Monty Williams, but the majority of the thing is they were very, very high echelon coaches, and they all got fired for mishaps. So naturally, with the showing that was showed last night, people are automatically going to say, my guy, Tone Trump, the top ock on IG, listen, I'm glad you tuned in. It's about that time, so you know what it is. And like I said, I hope you heard that. I said I'm not saying that Doc is out of the water. Okay, I'm definitely not saying that. Like I said, and I'm not saying that removing him is a conversation that should not be had, because I know it will be had and it needs to be had. Even if it doesn't happen, it should be had and it probably will be had. All right, so I'm not giving him a pass at all, any kind of way. My cousin Brad on Facebook, do you think if James Harden leaves for Houston, it could make a little bit of money? Like, I don't even want to go there right now. Like, it's other things I got to talk about him than about him going to freaking Houston. All right? And I mean, it's crazy because, like I said in my intro, these are my guys. This is my team. I'm not jumping ship. But anybody that watches this show, anybody that knows me when I talk about sports, when I talk about my teams, I talk about them when they're good, and I give it to you the way I see it when they play bad. Now, I'm going to flip this camera for Mel real quick. Mel, we talk sports all the time. Am I lying? Am I right when I say that? When we good, I do what we do as fans. We give each other the blues or whatever. But when my team play like sugar, honey, iced tea, what I say, Mel?
You call it like you said. I mean, right now it's a lot, like you said, it's a lot of blame to go around, man. But being here in Philadelphia, blue-collar town, we call ourselves hard workers, man. What I seen from this team, man, doesn't exemplify what we stand for here. Body language says a lot. Those guys was loafing up and down the court.
Yeah, them jokers quit, man.
We don't do that.
We don't do that.
2 minutes left. They was down 8. You don't give up with 2 minutes down 8. That's a winnable game. It's threes now. 3 threes, you back in the game. Them guys was loafing.
2, you back in the game.
They gave up.
Shit. 2, you back in the game.
Third quarter.
They gave up.
They got down. They gave up.
Man. That's what I said. I saw it in the body language. I know that they gave up. And like we said, we talked real quick earlier before I got in here. And yeah, Tone, you right. I said it. They quit. Lack of heart, yeah, that's going to be everybody's go-to, Brad. But I don't call that lack of heart. You just quit. You just got named the MVP. And again, I love Joe. Joe's my guy. I love him. I say he's clumsy. I won't say he's soft, but last night he played soft. I ain't going to say he's soft. Last night he did play soft. Okay, I'll give you that. Like I said, I'm going to call a spade a spade. He is my guy. Don't get me wrong. But you, as the guy on this team, the MVP of the league, the very, very edge of superstar, because I love him to death, but I can't give him superstar yet because of the performances that I've seen in his career in crucial moments when I know that they should have been better. And I've seen him perform before, and I know they could be better. So I'm going to say he's right there at superstar. But in order for you to reach it, you got to do what superstars do. Last night, you did not do that. Last night, in my opinion, you didn't even do what the MVP is supposed to do.
Which is lead.
You did not do that. Now, we flip And as much as I hate to say it, because it's a Boston thing, and I got to call a spade, like I said, it might be the internet. I said, I got to call a spade like I always do. Shout outs to Stan Groovy Laws, Boston Celtics fan, my guy Money, my guy Chris Adams, Fredo, all my friends that I know that are Boston Celtics fans. Congratulations to y'all, man.
Yeah,
but
a few of them too.
But where I'm going with that is, and in that whole conversation, that whole dialogue that I just presented to you, superstars do what superstars do. Jason Tatum, superstar. He did what superstars are supposed to do. He was 0 forever in like 3 games in the first 2 quarters or whatever. He heated up and won and took game 6 when he was supposed to. Right? But like Mel just said, there was no quit. He was having a horrible shooting game. He kept playing. He did everything else what your superstar, your leader is supposed to do. I'm going to get on the floor and hustle. I'm going to play D. I'm going to hustle back and block a couple shots here and there. Die for loose balls. That's what your superstar is supposed to do. And I mean, Joe's my guy, but hell, dude, you clumsy enough, you on the floor enough, it shouldn't be no issues with you diving on the floor for loose balls. And we flipped the other side to a former MVP. You gave us flashes in 2 games. We loved it. We took it. I said to a lot of people, I said, I'll take that. But that's not what we really need him to do. We need him to be in that 16 to 22 point range. Feed the ball to Joe. And work off of that. I also feel like we need players that can create their own shot, which we have not had since forever. Since forever. You have that in Maxey right now. I think they need to incorporate Maxey into this offense a lot more. Because of his speed, there's not too many people that can stay in front of him, with the ball or without the ball. Now, when we flip to the coach's side real quick, Melvin, I'm going to let you jump in. When I flip to the coach's side, here, my problem with the coach's side and these things now is I am so sick of the excuse my language, Mo, the bullshit analytics. Because when you look at this team, analytics showed you through the regular season they were the best pick and roll team in the league. When you get to the playoffs, again, Mo, sorry, that shit don't matter. It don't matter. Like I always say, you go in there with a game plan. You try to keep that game plan. Sometimes you got to take your game plan, ball that shit up, and toss it, and go and make the adjustments that you need to make. Okay? Doc didn't make those adjustments yesterday. You got to get away from that pick and roll. You played into Al Horford's hands. And I know the media was like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. Al Horford played solid D. But under normal pretenses, when Joel Embiid is on the block, banging down low, Al Horford can't do nothing with him. Here's you got to get away from that pick and roll a little bit. You got to go to your bread and butter. And then on the flip side of that, as the star, as the MVP, you can't bail on your team when it doesn't go your way. You have to voice your opinion to your coaches. Yo, the greats did it. What did Kobe say? Give me the ball and get out the way. What did Mike say? I'm taking the last shot. I'm going to live and die with the results. That's what you want in your leader. That's what leaders do. Jason Tatum did it. Get me the ball. When we down, give me the ball. I know I was off, so what? Give me the rock. Put y'all on there. I'm going to do what I do. Joel did not do that. And again, I'm disgusted with him, and the reason being, like I said earlier, a little bit earlier, I've seen you do it in the playoffs. I've seen you do it in the regular season. So I know it can be done. But last night was a horrible, disgusting showing, and you did not do it last night. So, Mel, you want to chime in, you can chime in right now. You up. I'm going to have some more probably, but I got to take a minute. Because it's like I said, I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day. I feel like Bill Murray right now.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me, G. Appreciate it. Good being here. little late shout out to all the moms yesterday. Feeling some kind
Yeah,
of
definitely
ways. I still
that.
had
Yeah.
mine, so feeling blessed and thankful. So I wanted to say hi to my mom and I love you and thanks, for having me also. Anyway, moving along to sports. Sixers, fellas, I don't know where to start because there's so much blame to go around. I'll start with upper management. The process. It's been 10 years now. Obviously, it hasn't worked. We failed. We haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2001 when Bubba Chuck was here,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are still struggling to make it. I'm not per se a Sixer fan, because I'm a throwback to the Pistons days with Isaiah. But same token, I watch basketball and I analyze it on a high stage. And what I seen yesterday really doesn't exemplify what Philly sports as well as basketball is supposed to be like. I seen no heart. I seen laziness. I seen cats not hustling. When you're a superstar, you look at all the different sports here. Look at Jalen Hurts. He never blamed nobody. When the Eagles lost, they lost as a team. He didn't put nobody under the bus. Yesterday said him and Harden can't do everything. I can't say what I want to say because I'm on air, but it's not about you and Harden. It's about everybody. It's about y'all picking the dudes up.
Absolutely.
You got to bring guys to a certain level of play and hold them accountable. But you can't do that if you're not doing it.
Yep.
And I don't know if these players are making too much money and they don't care. Harden doesn't play with any energy, man. He doesn't hustle. Like, he's too cool. He's older. He's slower. I told y'all back months ago when I was here last time, I was for that Buddy Hield and Halliburton trade because of their age. Solely because of their age. They were good players and they were younger. With Harden, you have a small window, 2 to 3 years. If you don't win in that time, then you're not going to win. Now it's been 2 years, which means if we keep him and bring him back on that option, he's going to be a year older.
1.5, but that still ain't no excuse.
He's going to be a year older. So that means now, instead of the first year you have him, you didn't regress back to, we back at square one with a team that we can't win with. So now what do? And I'm not saying Doc Rivers shouldn't be held accountable. It's upper management. We got to start with upper management. Players get coaches fired all the time.
Right.
And I think
I'm glad you said that because I got something I want to say about the coaches thing.
Yeah, I think Rivers will get fired solely because of the way they lost. That team felt bad, and nobody's being held accountable for it. So Rivers is probably going to go. I'm not saying he should go. I'm not saying he shouldn't. I really don't know. But it has to be changes, major changes. I never thought I would hear today when I say Embiid might have to go. I think he's a
only problem
generational player, and he's players like him just don't fall off trees.
Only problem I see with that now, Mel, with the Sixers for their situation is they not gonna get shit back.
No, you're not because
you're not gonna get shit back.
The way he's playing,
excuse my language again, Mo. Yeah, they not gonna get nothing back. So I don't think they're gonna do it.
We need
just for that reason. I don't think it's gonna be him because they do it. I don't know what they're gonna do.
We need some fiery guys in here, man. Did you see Harper yesterday when somebody said something about one of the Philly players? He was ready to go in the dugout and fight somebody. We need them kind of guys.
Those are the kind of guys you got on the Eagles. Them the guys you want.
Quitting is not an option, bro.
Not an option.
They quit, man. The last 2 games, they quit.
Yeah. So, for me, real quick, just to touch on that little coaches piece thing, right? People also have to understand, and again, I'm going to say this probably a lot when I talk about this thing. You have to understand. What I'm going to say is, he's not off the hook, definitely. But what I need people to understand, this is coming from me wearing my coach's hat. Your ideal situation is you want your best players on the floor as much as possible. But also the flip side of that is where your coaching comes in, because you're with your roster every day in practice and whatnot. You know who can do what. You tinker with your lineups, progressing through the season to get you to the playoffs, so you have a decent rotation for the playoffs. But the coach can only deal with what he has. And it goes back to Mel's point about upper management. If upper management don't give you a complete set of tools, you can't get the job done. If you don't understand, let me make it simple for you. If you building a house, not even a house, if you changing your tire, right? And just by chance, you look in your car, you done move stuff around and whatnot. You got your jack, but you don't have the piece to take the lug nuts off the tire. What's going to happen? You're going to sit there, you're going to be there with a flat tire, you're not going to get the job done. So in essence, like Mel said, if management My cousin, hold on, says Doc is part of the problem, but it comes down with the players and upper man. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Doc has his role in it, yes, but he can only deal with what he has. Like I said, if you don't have all the tools to complete the job's not going to get complete. You do have coaches that find ways to get things done sometimes, but then you also have coaches who have had success and get stuck in their ways, and then it hurts the team. And then it kind of goes to that issue of, you can say, trust, if you will, where I can play these guys in the regular season, but I don't really trust them. I don't really trust them in the playoffs. And that becomes a problem. And this is why the Sixers are typically where we are right now. And like I said, I feel like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. It's the same story over and over again, but it's the same issue over and over again. We'll have a star or 2 stars. The star that we have will, at the end of the situation, say, oh, well, I can't do it all by myself. I didn't get the ball the last whatever. You're supposed to make yourself available to get the ball. You're supposed to adjust your positioning and demand the ball.
Man, during a timeout, you got to get on cats if you ain't getting the ball, man.
Perfect reason you said that, Mel. And people talked all the trash about P.J. Tucker. And I went through this last week with the P.J. Tucker thing. And like I said, we can't do crap about his contract. But even when it was talking about him being signed and when he did sign, a lot of people gave me a ton of different names. And I said, yeah, I hear y'all. A lot of the names I was told I liked. But then I broke it down to the business side and the understanding. With the way the NBA is set up today, how many of them younger players that were significant parts of their teams or had significant roles or were right on the cusp of having significant roles would come and play for $10 million when they know they can get more? It ain't too many of them.
Listen,
but getting to your point, like you just said, you get into guys. The only one I seen do that was the new boot, P.J. Tucker. He's the only one I seen do it.
You got to have a guy like that on your roster, man. You got to. Somebody that's not scared to ruffle feathers, superstar or not. If you're not putting up what you should be putting up, get in his face, challenge him.
Like he told them when the game that they won, the last game they won, he said, yo, I got that putback because I was there. You don't pass the ball, you shoot the ball. You the man, you shoot it.
You shoot it. PJ gives him a lot. I mean, you could talk about his offense. And yesterday, he was the only one who was scoring in the first quarter.
And I would hate to see something happen in the trade and PJ leave this soon. Well, I would hate it.
It's 2 things they can
because, like you said, it showed during the regular season. We just got to put it together, or they just got to put it together and carry it over into the playoffs. But it showed the difference with P.J. Tucker on the team in toughness in the regular season. 1 or 2 games in the playoffs, but it showed that you need that dude on your team.
My thing is, if you're not going to bring him back, put him on the coaching staff, man. You need a voice like that. That's an option too. I mean, I know PJ's older.
That's why I like saying.
Keep playing.
That's why I like saying.
Put him on the coaching staff because it's obvious we're going to get a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go in another direction, put him on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Let him help them guys out because he will get in somebody's face, man. He's not afraid to.
Not afraid at all.
You need a guy like that.
Yeah. And I like Sam Cassell because Sam Cassell does that to the players. Sam Cassell does it to Maxey. He does it to James. Doc, like I said last week, I talked about Doc, and I said, even when I was talking about his press conferences, I said Doc goes into the press conferences, and he'll give you the generic, vanilla, okay, the referees were not as all as we expected, yada, yada, yada. But that one game, I said I was impressed when he was irate about the calls, and he gave it to the media that one time. But you got to do that more. The team has to see you do that more. Then the team knows that you with them. Not so much you got their back and all that, and I ain't saying people say, well, he ain't have. No. The team needs to see. Just like every now and again when you coach, and sometimes in the moments of game, the coach gets the tech.
That's why I said, get somebody in here with some fire, man. That's going to get under these dudes' ass, man. Not do what they're supposed to.
I like, I don't want it to be D'Antoni because of that Morey Houston relationship connection.
Yeah,
I don't want it to be him.
No, we got to start from scratch. Man.
I don't want it to be him. I would love for Monty Williams to come back and be the. Personally, I think Monty Williams should have got the job over Brett Brown. That's what I think.
He should have got it long. He should have been the head coach.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying. I just still think he should have got it over Brett Brown anyway, too. Yeah, he should have been a head coach, but long before he was.
Give Sam Cassell a shot.
Just give Sam Cassell a shot. Absolutely.
He's a little younger. He's closer to the
But,
players,
yeah,
man.
and it's just one of those things where I hope that they figure it out quickly because you got the Bucks that need a coach.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this.
You may have some other teams coming down the stretch shortly that might need a coach too. So those names, that Budenholzer and that Monty Williams, they might get snatched up real quick.
I posted that. I posted
I posted it too. I said they might get picked up real quick. So they have to make a decision real quick right now and what they do, like today, almost. Decisions.
Are you going to trade Joel and mortgage the future somewhat?
Yeah,
but Max
and I don't think
got to be the centerpiece.
I don't think they're going to trade Joel. I think Maxey and Joel can play together if they can get a younger shooter.
Oh, they can definitely play together.
If they can get a younger shooter, like a knockdown shooter, they can play together. And then you need another person, like we call them tweeners, maybe that 2-3 or that 3-4, that can create their own shot. And consistently.
Well, guess
because what I say about Tobias,
we had the chance to get him.
We had
seen him yesterday get 50 against us.
Yeah, got duped in that. Yeah,
That's
got duped in that.
I'm watching
and it's crazy. Like a lot of people don't understand that story where it was Danny Ainge and the Colangelos, and Danny Ainge duped them into that. Because he put it out there. He said, "I'm taking Jason." He said he was taking Jason Tatum no matter what. He just wanted to see if he can get the number one pick. That was his whole issue. Let me see if I can get the number one pick from them, or if I can get him the number one pick, because they had it. We didn't have it. We traded and got it. But he was taking Jason Tatum anyway, regardless of what pick he had, and he said that. So they got duped into that. And it was all because of that 1 year where they ended up having that roster that they had, and then they ended up giving up extra money at the end of the season because they weren't. And then they suddenly jumped over and into the fucking luxury, excuse my language, Mo, and into the damn luxury tax. Where they at now? And then you got bad contracts. Where definitely the Tobias Harris contract is going to be, it might not be that hard now.
Does he even care, man?
It might not be that hard now.
Does he care as a player? Does he care?
Not as much as he should.
I could have knocked down.
I'll say not as much as he should. I'll definitely say that. And that's my thing with him. I said he is too inconsistent to be a third scorer. He's one of those guys.
Third scorer? He had 2 points in 42 minutes. That's
what I'm saying. I said he's not a third scorer. He's one of those guys that, depending on your roster makeup, he can start, and like here, by default, he started. But he's one of those guys where he can do some things, and like I said, depending on your roster, you may start him. You let him go. When he hot, he hot. When he go, he go. And when he start getting a little shaky, you can snatch him out and put somebody else in. But he's also one of those kind of guys where he'll come out, he'll give you a 15, 16 point solid game, maybe 20. And then he'll turn around and give you a 2-point stinker.
That's why we react.
And then, right after that, he'll give you a 6-point stinker. And then he'll turn around and have another game close to what he had prior to that, which is crazy. That's why I said the thing about him, I said his inconsistency is killing me.
Gaines, if you get 10 to 14 points from either him or Melton, game 6,
you win.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Melton couldn't throw a recliner in the scoop hill.
I'm so disappointed in him. He's been consistent for the most part. Plus, he locks players down.
In my opinion, when they made that trade and got him, I said, and he started playing, I felt like he was the difference maker. He was the best person in all them deals.
And he has played well.
And let me say this too. They talked about Tobias Harris. You got length on your bench. Here's where the coaching piece comes in again. What happened to Jaden McDaniels?
You didn't get the opportunity, man. And I'm gonna tell you something else, gang. Sometimes when them lights get bright, man, they too bright for you, man. This is the time you show up. People talk about Jimmy Butler not being a regular season player. But when that
changed
money's
all that.
on the line,
Changed all that.
that money's on the line, bro.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, that's where I say that's why I say I'm not letting Doc off the hook. You fooled us in the one game when you played Daniel House. Daniel House played for you. Gave you 10 points, played hustle. Hey, Antonio Bennett, what's going on? So then he don't play no more until you reach and you stretching. Yo, do the same thing the next game. He's a bench player. If it don't work, then you know it ain't work today.
It ain't work, right. Yeah, don't go away.
But if it works for you today,
don't go away.
you gotta try it.
Yeah, don't go away.
It's like driving a car. You get a car, you get a used car. You buy the car, you start it up, it goes, you take it home, whatever, you drive it. You gotta start that tomorrow to see if it works. If it don't work, then you know what you gotta do.
Right.
You can't do it, have it work for you, and then go away from it.
My man Boo Jacks just said that the Sixers need more players that can create their own shot.
That's what I've been saying. It's me and Baldy been saying for a long time.
Congratulations, by the way, too, on your Celtics advance.
They definitely need that. That's definitely needed.
I agree. Tatum showed you that. Brian showed you that.
It's definitely you need it.
They shot anytime, and they sleep.
Definitely
Both
need
of
it.
them.
Now, and like I said, whoever comes in, even if it's Doc or if it's not Doc, you have to incorporate Tyrese more into that offense. You can't stay solid with that pick and roll. If James is still here, you can't solely go on that and try to play off of that. You got to put some other stuff in there.
Would you say Maxi's the only one untradeable right now, or would you put Joel in that category too, or is Joel tradable? What you think?
I would say the both of them are untradeable.
Okay, that's fair.
And I'll give you my reasons why. For Maxey, I think is the future of this team. Maxey has a lot right now. And he still has, in my opinion, to completely grasp the NBA game.
Is Maxey average to you? Or above average or special? What do you think?
Maxey's special.
I'll argue with a guy. This is why I don't go.
And this is why I say he's special, because like I just said, he's got the tools right now to be an NBA star, but he's so young that he hasn't fully grasped the NBA game. Right, he's still learning. Now he's got all the tools right now. So I say he's special.
Tools, brother.
I say he's special.
He's far from
now before you come in with your point, Mel, we was talking about. I said now on the Joel side, I think the organization is to the point now where they also know in a small way, they might not show it, they can't go back to where they were when they say if they blow it up. So you got to make changes, got to make drastic changes, but I can't say blow it up. And then like I said earlier with the Joel thing, what he has done, although last night has everybody questioning and all this other stuff, whatever, and I get it. But overall resume, what he's done for you, the way the league is set up right now, like I say, the question is, what are you going to get back for him right now? You're going to get duped if you try and do it now. You're going to get duped.
His body language, man.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to get duped.
It's a bad show.
Yeah, you're going to get duped.
People would be jumping to get him, man.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Either way, if they jump or they don't, you're going to get duped.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something, too, what people not understanding is, sometimes as players, you get tired of a voice, man. Well, how long Doc been here now?
About 3-4 years.
No, he been here, I think,
Maybe 4 or 5 years, yeah.
Okay, sometimes players, man, your voice get old. If you're not holding guys responsible and accountable for their actions, man,
and if you feeling like I feel, and we in the Groundhog Day movie, it's the same thing over and over again. Same thing over and over again.
I listened to 6 Cents the last 12 hours, and people was fed up with Embiid, man. So a lot of people want him gone, man, as well as Doc. They got real problems. What you can't do, though, is bring that same team back without major changes. So the Doc is probably going to have to go some major.
And the other thing you can't do is you can't make that move, whatever move you make, you can't make it on emotion. Like I said earlier.
That's why you can't do it right now.
Right.
Because you'll make a move on emotion. Shout out to my man Keno. He's a Celtics fan.
Like I said earlier, what you got to do is And and I was talking about fans. I said, what we got to do is we got to talk about it today, tomorrow, maybe even Wednesday. Once it hit Thursday, one more time, Mo, gotta let this ish go. Gotta let it go. Because if you don't, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to be angry for no reason at all, for something that you literally can't change. And I get it. The fandom, we disappointed, whatever. But it ain't nothing we can do about it. It has to be done. Like, we can voice our opinions like we should, and I get that. But the bottom line is, there's nothing we can do about it. We either got to deal with it, be fans, ride with the ups, deal with the lows, or just leave it alone. But with this type of, like I said, you got to deal with it the way we're dealing with it now. Like I said, maybe when we get to about Thursday, you got to let it go. You got to let it go.
Well, where they going right now, you know who you're going to end up being like? Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Great player, but always came up short.
And he may get there once.
He
Because
on his way,
Pat got
right
there
now.
once. Yeah.
If he
Pat got
take
there
the
once.
Yeah, one time.
Right. You might get there once in a losing effort, but that may be it. Absolutely.
I really hope it's not, but that's what it's reminding me of.
Listen.
It really is. But like yesterday, if Embiid had 30 plus and
They
20
win.
plus, 15 plus rebounds,
They win.
we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No,
We'll
it'll be
be
totally different.
Do you know Tatum outscored him, Harden, and Max
Yes.
together? Did you realize
Yes.
that? Jason Tatum had
Yes.
more points by himself than your three best players.
Yes.
That's unacceptable, man. That's
Very unacceptable. There's no way that's supposed to happen.
No way. And every time I think about Tatum should be here, then you see this.
There's no
It's like,
way
wow.
that's supposed to happen.
That's bad, man. That's bad, man. That's bad.
No way.
I knew, though. I knew when they didn't win Game 6, this was going to happen.
There's no way
knew
that's
it.
supposed to happen, man. And again, like we've been saying all the time, it's enough blame to go around. I've been bringing up points on both sides of the ball. As a matter of fact, all three levels of it. Like I said, the players that are on the court, coaching, and the upper management. I done gave you points on all of it. And again, that was just my suggestion, and that's how I'm taking it right now. I was totally disgusted with yesterday's performance, all the way across the board. So I'm going to talk about it today, and I'm sure I'm gonna look at social media later today and maybe tomorrow, and some stuff from yesterday, and some stuff I posted last night that I didn't read a lot of comments. I'll probably read some of them, and maybe some more comments later today from this video. But I'm gonna check it out, and like I said, I'm gonna give myself till like Wednesday, maybe Thursday. But at that point, I'm letting it go until I hear some rumblings about what's going to happen to the chatter. Then I'll jump back in it and pay attention to what's going on. But just for me,
real quick,
I got to let it go.
Don't want to interrupt you, but I don't want us to forget either. Last time I was on here, we talked about this, similar with kids getting in trouble on a big stage that's playing well and doing well. We've right back to that conversation with Ja Morant. I wanted to spring this up.
No, I'm glad you did, because I wanted to bring it up too, and it was in my intro and everything to bring it up. So, listen. Like I said, so for that, we might get back to some Sixers talk later, but that's where I'm at with it. And again, if you want, you can come back and watch this video on both or call in, whatever. 215-287-1672 is where we at. That's the number to
Give
get
us
us
a call.
in.
We love it. Here's
So,
your feedback.
the Ja Morant thing.
Ja Morant.
Tone, I hope you're listening on this too. I don't understand it. There are numerous players who had issues. I'm not going to say he's the first one. I'm not going to say he's the last. But there are numerous players who've had different types of issues. Some similar to what his issues are right now. Quite a few of those players had that be the beginning of their demise, their downfall. Some got over it. And when I say the ones that got over it, I say they got the message early. And they received it to be complete. Ja Morant, let me turn this real quick on that screen. Ja Morant did not receive the message. He got it, prior to this most recent incident with the 8-game suspension. You were allowed to come back. You played in the playoffs. And then you do it again. Or, don't say you did it again. It happens again.
No, you're right. He did it again.
Yeah, but it's room. I changed that because allegedly it wasn't his page this time. And I know, Mel, it don't matter. But because I'm here, right? But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But because I'm here, right?
You know what I just went through. Why would you turn the camera at me?
And that's my whole point.
Gun in my hand?
It's my whole point.
So,
but
is that his real friend? Let's
talk
about that.
We talked about that too. So the bigger point behind that is double-sided. It's a lot of avenues, like I always say. Like Mel just said, if that's supposed to be my friend, why are you filming me? You know what I went through. Why are you filming me? And you can also say on Jai's part,
he was live, by the way.
Why are you doing it? Right. He's saying, why are you doing it? Too. So even if that's the case, we can go there. If I'm your friend, and I know you just went through something, and I just happen to say, all right, I'm going to go on live. Yo, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is my response. I'm not saying it as a friend, it's me and Mel. Mel, what are you doing? I'm turning the live off and I'm in the car. Yo, bruh, didn't you just get suspended like last month and you back at it again? Like you jumping in the live, like what part don't you understand? So that's what I mean when I say I felt like he didn't receive the message. But it makes no sense because when you look at the backstory, and you know when stuff like this happens, people get all they can get. They go digging for the info. And when the first incident happened, everybody went back to he was brought up with 2-parent household, yada, 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 lived in the suburb, yada, 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 whatever. Okay. But we all know, myself and Mel sitting here, and all the other guys that watch sports and everything, we all know as young teenage men, even if we are athletes or whatever, what goes on in the hood, we're inquisitive because it's us. And when I say that, I mean, me and Mel play ball. We in the same hood. We know we going to play ball. Shout out my guy, Joe Richmond, ambassador of basketball for your champion G League Delaware Blue Coats. Thanks for tuning in. Good Joe, morning to you, good brother.
Man. You my guy, Joe. Keep up the good work, man. We appreciate you.
Getting back to it, like I said, we all, I'm going to say for lack of a better word, enticed, intrigued in our neighborhoods by, like I said, because these are the guys that are doing what we hope to do at some point. Maybe not the same way, but I play ball. My dream is NBA. Same kind of concept. He driving the Benz, yeah, I'm going to get me one of them. Like I said, maybe a different way. But bigger point is they look like us. You're welcome, Joe, no doubt. Family. They look like us. So that makes it even a little bit more interesting to us because they look like us. But the difference nowadays, and we can talk about this in sports, we can talk about this in general life. The difference nowadays, and I know Mel can attest to this, a lot of time when we were coming up, and I know where we are, we had guys that reminded us, this ain't you. No, this ain't you. Go ahead. Played ball. Guys around my way. Was on the corner. They let me walk through. And they would stop me and chat, yo, what you doing? What you do yesterday? You went got a game or something today, whatever. Something get funny, time for you to leave. And as a teenage boy, I'm gonna take my time because I'm like, oh, something going on. Let me see what's going on. Just because I'm a guy, this is what we do. But then it got real adamant. Yo, didn't we tell you go ahead, man? It's a lot of that's missing today. But again, getting back to your point too, Mel. Like, what are your friends doing? These are basically not your friends.
Hey, did you realize that's the same guy that can't come to the games because he was jawing at it with the Pacers bench and got kicked out? Mm-hmm. He can't go back to the games.
Yeah.
So, and I understand it's your boy. I understand. But when things like this happen, man, you gotta cut him loose.
Yep.
Give him $1 million. Tell him he on his own, leave you alone, man.
Talked
if
about
that's your
that.
man, okay.
I brought that point up a couple of weeks
Give
ago
him a
too when I was
couple
talking about something else.
hours
I
to
said,
go on
yo,
his own.
when you get to a certain level, like Meek Mill says, levels to this.
Yeah, there's levels.
You get to a certain level,
And
there's certain jokers,
do's and don'ts.
certain jokers you got to keep at a distance. And I say it that way because I know some of these dudes is going to be real hard to just get rid of.
Jay-Z did it to Bean.
Right. I said
Give him $1 million.
Right.
Man, you're
right.
on your own.
That's what I'm saying. I said it depends on the person. Sometimes the person can stand up and do that, but then you got some other people that won't have enough to just, like you said, take this mill, you on your own. And if you can't do that, your only outlet then is to deal with them at a distance.
At a distance.
You have to. You have to deal with them at a distance.
I gotta let you go.
And like I said, that could be your best friend from second grade, third grade, whatever. When you get to a certain level, if they have not changed, they still the way they are when y'all was 19, 20, 25 or younger, since you're only 20 now, since when y'all was 17, 18, whatever, then y'all got to switch that up. Mighty Robinson, my guy, thanks for tuning in on IG. Then y'all got to get that up. And like I said, if it's that deep to you and you can't completely do that, give them the mill, say you on your own, or completely let go, then you got to deal with them at a distance.
You know what the
because
funny thing is, G?
And I say people forget about the Mike Vick situation because you are the star. Second chance, right? But I'm just saying to make a point. But you are the star, so you're going to get the light on you. They're going to be in it, but the light's going to be on you. And I bring the Mike Vick situation up because we all know Mike Vick wasn't at the house when all that was going on.
Right.
But because it was his house, the law and the way the media and everybody, other people look at it, or some media, the way they look at it, you're the owner, so you had some type of idea what was going on in there.
But
because they were there. And that's a bad thing.
Nobody would take you for him.
Right. It's a bad thing. And I said, like, he wasn't there, but I said the way they look at it and the way they think, it's your house, you've been there with them, you knew something was going on. And that's just how they think. And it's a bad way to think. You know, I'm disappointed and a little disturbed that they think like that. But that situation is disheartening, man.
Let me ask you a question, Gaines. How many opportunities do you think Ja Morant is going to get? Because I'm going to tell you something. If it was a lesser player,
he done.
Not a superstar.
He going already.
No, he ain't done. They're not going to kick him out the league.
I'm talking about, you talking about a lesser player. A lesser player is done right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you'll never play again because you're going to be blackballed.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why it's not going to happen to him, because he's a marketable guy.
And
he makes the NBA a ton of money.
Yeah.
And he's one of the superstar faces of the league.
Yeah.
Other than that, he'd be in here with me and you talking about what he used to do and what he used to have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real. I don't understand what it takes for him to get it.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you,
and
his
now,
dad got to be held a little sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Dad.
See,
and I'm sorry how y'all feel. This is just my opinion. Dad got to be held a little bit accountable too.
The problem I got with Dad is too much in the friend homie zone right now.
Yeah, he is.
That's a problem.
It's not just him. That's why society.
It is, man. Yeah.
Like parents don't parent no more.
Like my son is 15, but I'm on his top. Dude, where you going?
As you should.
Can I go here? Yeah, where y'all going? Make sure you text me when you get in the house.
That's parenting.
What's going on with you today?
That's
you all right?
That's parenting.
You good? Everything straight? Time and time again. Yo, dude, anything you want to talk about, you can come holler at me. Anything. If I got to stop what I'm doing and make time, we going to make time. If I got to do it later, whatever, anything you need to talk to me about, you can talk to me about.
Let me ask you a question.
Real quick, hold on. And in between there, we go through our little thing where he'd be like, bro. And I've messed with him, yo, dude, stop calling me that. But I know we playing. But deep bottom line, when I say, yo, chill, he know, all right, I can't play with you like that right now. We ain't, yeah. So, yeah, what's up?
As the commissioner of the league right now, Dwayne Gaines is the commissioner of the NBA. And I know you don't make the final decision, but at the end of the day, it's going to be based on what you want. What do? What's his punishment at this point?
For me, It's a suspension.
How long? And don't tell me months.
No. For me, it's 82 games regular season.
82 games.
I gotta go half a season.
Okay, that's fine.
And
that's fine.
And
Fair.
I say that because the business side of it, like you just mentioned, the money that can be made on both sides. And I'm not just going to say the NBA, but I know that's where they're going to think. But I want everybody to know I'm thinking both ways. The money that can be made on both sides. And the fact that could possibly have him seriously think and consider how easy this could be taken away. Because I give you half a season, it could very easily be.
That ain't enough.
It could very easily be the entire season or longer.
Let me tell you why, Gaines. I originally thought a half a season, but because it's his second offense,
it's a recurring offense.
A gun.
Mm-hmm.
Something else I might have said, if it was drinking crazy on camera, something like that, maybe
right.
half a season, because then it's another strike.
Mm-hmm.
But he's had a lot of minor incidents too. That hasn't been as major as the gunplay.
Absolutely.
I would say a year. You know why? Because he's going to sit around, watch all those guys excel, watch them play. His money's going to stop. He won't get that check every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless they get paid weekly. I think it's bi-weekly.
Like the NBA is set up so crazy, and
I just had
some of them are bi-weekly, but some of them it depends on their contracts too.
Okay,
some of them get like once a month.
He needs to find
like
out
that. Yeah,
by missing the whole year of it. He needs to find out whatever.
I get it. I understand.
I mean, because the severity of the incident.
No, I understand.
Severity. This is twice.
Yeah.
You're an NBA player. You're on live. We're on live now. I ain't flashing no gun, and it's 1 year. I ain't flashing it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody know that. They wouldn't know it if I ain't mentioned it. It's crazy. Yeah, it was 2 years. But I'm saying, we responsible. I'm not sitting here pulling up my shirt showing my gun. No, no reason to.
None at all.
What are you doing? He has a $2 million contract, and you're going to live flashing guns.
You just got a shoe contract.
That's why I said you got to.
Do you know what it takes? Like, do you understand? And I'm not talking to the general folk. I'm talking to you, Jai. Do you understand what it takes to get a shoe contract? You might be under the belief that where you are right now, because you are a face of the NBA and yada, 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 you got that shoe contract. It takes a lot more than that, buddy. And you have it because you got the shoe contract. So why throw it all away for nothing?
And again, this is the very reason I'm not a big LeBron James fan, but I have the utmost respect for LeBron because of the way he carries himself.
Absolutely.
Off and on the court.
Absolutely.
He's been married forever to his high school.
I'm the same way. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge LeBron fan.
He does
but
everything the right
the respect.
way.
The respect is there. And it's not just basketball. It's a manly, African American, idolized man.
He exemplifies a professional man.
Yeah.
When you're a pro basketball player, you have to be a pro on the court
and off the court.
As well as off the court.
Because somebody's always watching.
Always.
And Big Brother's always watching.
I used to tell AI that all the time, man.
Like, people, I said this on the show a couple weeks back, maybe a couple months back or so, where I said to people, I said, y'all don't understand. Like, y'all see the security, like Bub for the Sixers. Y'all see the security on the bench, on the sideline, right? And I said, people watched the movie Ray Donovan, and we knew Ray Donovan was a fixer. I said, do y'all realize that the majority of these professional teams have a fixer that a lot of people don't know about? Perfect example, the Andrew Bynum deal that the Sixers made. How did it happen where he was in LA right before he was traded? He was out. He was supposed to be injured, but he was out bowling, whatever, doing what he was doing. And that footage didn't just come from, great point, Joe. Joe Richmond. Like I always say, I'm quoting here. He said, like I always say, plenty of pros, very few professionals. Absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself.
That's why you my guy, Mike. That's why you my guy. Good point.
I could not have said that better myself.
That's a great point.
That is definitely right on point. It's right on point.
Tia said that he should serve a year suspension along with community service mentoring kids.
I can
Something
see that.
in that form should be done.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And I get your point. And I can't take my answer back now. That's where I was at. I'm not gonna take it back. That's where I was at.
So you said
but I
half
get,
season?
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by my
It's
point.
not severe enough.
Yeah, and it's cool.
I mean, he could have got a half season for the first incident game.
Right.
This is 2 strikes. Now, see,
Right.
the thing with that is, if you suspend him for 42 games, it's 41 games a half season. Mm-hmm. It's not severe enough.
I get it.
Because the third strike, you should be banned.
Yeah, I get
So,
it.
the second
Because the wide receiver got suspended for a whole year for betting. So all he did was make a bet. And I'm not saying that's right, but I get it. He made a bet. He got suspended for a year. So I see your point. He was flashing the gun on 2 separate occasions. I get it. Yeah, I see your point.
Enough games.
Yeah,
and NBA, he's an African American.
I see your point.
They're not going to keep tolerating, even though he's a superstar.
I always say they're going to protect the house, no matter what. They're going to protect the house.
Especially when it comes to us.
No matter what. They are definitely going to protect the house. Yeah, it's a big issue. But what we were saying before we went a little bit off, we were talking about the dad. And we talked about like what the day and I got us off talking about my son and stuff. Well, yeah, dad, in my opinion, right now is too much in the friend zone. Nate Phillips-Williams, thanks for tuning in on FB. Yeah, I think dad is too much in the friend zone. I think in another small way, dad is enjoying the success a little bit more than Jai is.
You said what now? I'm sorry.
I said in a small way, I feel like dad is enjoying this success a little bit more than than Jai is.
Oh, no,
because when you see dad still has the young look. And dad has the jewels on. And we know how he got them. We know where they came from.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm not saying that this is wrong or nothing like that, but I'm just making points. Like, we know where that came from, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And when my dad was here, God rest his soul, if I had it like that, and he said, yo, like, you ain't even got to ask me. Like, it's done. So I get that point. But like I said, like we said, you have to be able to take that friend hat off completely.
It's still on.
And in all honesty, as a parent, the friend hat should never be completely on.
Never.
I can see you can put it on.
Here we go again.
You can put it on. Right. You can put it on. That's what right. There we go. You can put it on because these are your kids. You're gonna love your kids, you're gonna enjoy the moments. But when it's time to be a parent hat go all the way on.
Well, again, just like your son knows, he can only play with you so far, but he knows when you say, all right, son, that's enough, you buckling down, he know that. My dad did it. I didn't play with my dad a whole lot because he was intolerable for that kind of nonsense.
Right.
Well, we had our play for moments, but I always understood the way he looked at me a certain way in his tone, then straighten up, man. Or he going to get results.
Time for you to chill, or you're going to get exactly what you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's changed, man. We don't have to like
definitely changed.
John Moran, dad is around too much for him to be making these type of mistakes. My son wouldn't do it. I know he wouldn't because I would raise my son the way I was raised.
Right. Yeah. Like you. I mean, I understand you get to a point where where my son is now, the teenager. So I gotta let him. Listen, you wanna hang out with your friends? Go ahead. Just be careful. Remember what I told you. If it don't look right, don't feel right, remove yourself from the situation.
Don't be no damn follower.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, I said, if it don't feel right, don't look right, remove yourself from the situation, man. At that point, you got to think about you.
But
and at one point, he asked me, he said, well, what if my friend is still... You have to think about you in that moment. That's what I'm telling you.
It's going to be harsh. I'm willing to bet, Gaines. Watch it. I'm going to come on. We're going to talk about it.
It probably should be. You're right. Like I said, after the fact, the points that were brought up, it probably will be.
You see what Nike did to Kyrie? They cut him off.
And he wasn't flashing the gun. He just said some words.
They already cut him off.
Yeah, he just said some words.
They make the decision. Nike's going to make a decision also.
Yeah, they are. Because it's so many. And like you said, because Nike, they got the NIL bill that's in effect right now. So for Nike, if they cut him off, it's like, all right, we tried, we had, okay.
Was this
we just gonna
contract
move on.
lifetime, a sneaker contract?
No, it wasn't lifetime. So yeah, they'll do what they do, but they gonna get back. They gonna be right back in the mix anyway. Like Nike is Nike.
What's another young boy
Oh
coming up?
yeah, definitely, it definitely is. You know who it is. It's Wimbayana.
Y'all young boys out here listening, man, remember, when you become a professional, somebody's always watching.
Always watching,
continue
man.
to get the money that you're getting the way the money is these days. Barkley and them can afford this kind of money.
And the lesson to learn,
the right thing.
The lesson to learn in all of this is your social media is on the World Wide Web. Just like I'm sitting here talking right now to y'all, me and Mel talking to y'all right now, internet radio. It's people that can listen to me in London, wherever. If they got Wi-Fi and internet radio, they look us up, they can listen to us right now. So that's the same way. Once you put it on the internet, it's there. It ain't like it don't disappear. If y'all didn't know that, it don't disappear. It's there. It can be found. But what you need to understand is those type of videos and those types of things, and it might be your personal social media, are going to come up when you least expect it, when it's beneficial for the other side. And when I say that in correlation to this particular incident, it works, and I'm not saying it's right. It's working in the NBA's favor right now because it's one of those gotcha moments. And when it's at that level, that gotcha is about 10, 15 times magnified in the way I just said it sitting here right now.
But there's been enough failure stories in sports in general for a guy like Ja Morant to get it, man. It's been a lot of stories.
And that's why I said, is it the beneficial part? Unfortunately for the NBA right now, unfortunately for the outside looking in and the fans in his situation, is this gotcha.
But instead of getting it, he's
you
the
got
one
got.
that's doing it. You get right.
You got
exactly.
Got. And it's bad. J. Cole. Fool me one, well, not J. Cole, but that whole thing. Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me second time, can't put the blame on you. So, hey, I hope he gets it. And like we said, we've had people that have gotten it.
I just don't have confidence in the young man. You got to show me something, man. It's been less than a year.
It's too much.
It's been less than a year.
Yeah,
man.
it's very drastic. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing, man.
Get your stuff together, Dad. Get your son together. Get his life together, man.
Yeah. What up, Chuck? My guy, Chuck Bolger. Thanks for tuning in, good brother. Yeah, it's got to go.
What up, Tinsley?
I can't. Yeah, it's got to change. Like Dad has to see it, and maybe that suspension will help Dad see it a little bit more clear.
I'm gonna pray for it, man. I don't want to see him lose everything.
That suspension or whatever the punishment is may open Dad's eyes a little bit, which I think it will. Which I think it should. But
just as bad as he is, man. He's
right.
Fight Sterling Sharp.
Yeah.
At the basketball game.
Dad is a lightweight. Dad's a lightweight. He ain't want that fight. You better be glad some people stepped in there. He ain't want that fight.
Must have that strong ass country boy.
Yeah. He ain't want that fight. And it's just crazy. Like, you don't. Again, like we was just talking about Tyrese Maxey in a different way as far as the level of where he is. Ja Morant's the same way. He's right there. But with these two incidents, he may not get to where he could get to. You know what I'm saying? He may not get there. It depends on what happens here and what the suspension or whatever is.
Hey, Hawk, in your defense, welcome on the show, man. Hawk Presley, that's my man. He was saying we all have the right to bear arms. We acting like he killed somebody. So that's next, Hawk. If we don't address his behavior now, what's next?
But
he's not an everyday Joe like me and you. We could do that. He can't.
But we don't honestly know if he has the license to carry or not, too. Yeah, we don't honestly know that.
That's a good point, too.
That's an angle you can look at. And as far as us having this conversation and this dialogue, we don't know that.
Hey, Hawk, his behavior is unexcusable.
That's the bottom line.
That's
the bottom line.
Player.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. You're a professional basketball player. People know who you are. And you put it on your social media, and everybody sees it.
Hot, we thousandaires, man. That man is a multi-millionaire, bro. His contract
Yeah, that's not
He's on a different level,
yeah,
man.
that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
It's unacceptable. Hot. Sorry, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, that's not it's not a good look. If you want to call it, you want to go that route, it's definitely not a good look. Because again, like I said, stuff like that is going to come out when it's convenient, when they need it. And again, this is that, like I keep saying, it's that gotcha moment. We got you now. What you going to do? We going to figure out what we going to do.
Let's hope and pray he gets it, man.
But when we tell you what we going to do, then what you going to do is the bigger question. So, yeah, I hope, again, I'm with you, Mel. I pray for the young man. I hope that he gets it. I do. I hope that the light comes on at some point.
Before it's
soon.
Before
very, very soon. Yes, definitely before it gets too late. Because if it doesn't come on, you could be looking at wasted talent. And I hate to say that, but that's a possibility of where it could go if he doesn't get it. To wasted talent. And again, it's sad because it's so many young men that look like him, that look up to him, and see this and become naive and become fooled and feel like this is okay. It's like one of the things I used to say about a lot of these guys, like they come from these down south, very low budget, hick towns, as we like to call them, city people like to call them hick towns or whatever, and that kind of stuff. And then they get to the point where they can get everything that they ever wanted. And some of them feel like, now that I can get everything I ever wanted, I can do whatever I want.
Absolutely.
Because now I ain't got to worry too much because I can pay for that attorney.
You don't want for nothing.
Right. You don't want for nothing. But the bottom line is, like, you got that thought process, like, I ain't got nothing. And end up with a public defender. It's like, crap, I'm going to do some time. Or unless mom and family put the crib up and get an attorney. But now I got the money, so I'm going to go ahead and do what I want because, I can pay that slick talking attorney to get me off of this or get me not what I really should get. And that creates a problem. That creates that mirage that a lot of these young men fall victim to, if you will. That's one of the reasons why I give a ton of praise to Dawn Staley and the way that she stands up for her team. And I talked about this like with that incident in the tournament, when I brought that up here and I talked about it, and Dawn went on her angry explanation in defense of her team, which I felt was warranted because of the comments, and I was very, very happy and proud that she did it. And I knew it was coming. I knew she would not do it, but I was proud that she do it. And one of the things I brought up to people when they asked me about it, I said, the reason I look up to her and the reason her players and a lot of other players and a lot of other women that look like us respect her is for the simple fact that she did it from the ground up. She looks like them. She is them. And the difference I feel like with the women's side of it is they don't get caught up as much. Or not, I won't say they won't get caught up as much. They tend to get it a lot quicker than the males do. Because Angel Reese went through what she went through. And I'm not saying she went through an issue, but, the thing with the Caitlyn in the tournament and whatnot and whatever. And look how it blew her up. Everybody thought that it was going to be an issue and whatever. But she done blew up. She got a couple NIL deals. Bought herself a brand new Benz for her birthday. Featured in Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. The other little guard had a dad that was a rapper. She raps and she's got her NIL deals and everything going on. But they got it to the point where I can still be me, but I can also reap the benefits of what's coming my way in the right way.
By doing the right thing.
That's what I said, in the right way. Yeah, so I can still be me, but I know how to fit in here and do what I need to do to make these benefits work. Like I used to tell the kids, Mel, remember when we was at 32, when we used to have, they had that juvenile justice week, and they would bring the judges and lawyers in and talk to the kids in groups or whatever. And I remember one day I was on, I think 2A or something like that. I was talking to the kids. I came in early to help out, whatever. And we didn't have uniforms then, so, I was regular. And I was talking to the son, Sue, thanks for coming back. Gresh, I got Mel sitting up here with me. And I'm talking to the kids after they leave. And, and I said to the kids, I said, like, none of y'all asked that judge what he went through to be a judge.
Excuse me.
I said, y'all asked me at one point sometimes, to cut y'all hair, y'all had court shaped y'all up. But y'all never asked me what I did to become a licensed barber. But I said, the flip side, the point I'm trying to make is, y'all got to pay attention to, like, y'all talking to these people and y'all asking them stuff, but y'all not asking the right questions. And if y'all need help, ask. But y'all got to understand, I said, I'm different in my situation because I went to school, and it's not so much because I went to school, but I paid attention. I said, so I can stand here with y'all right now the way I am, and I can talk the hood language with y'all, and I may not be up on all of it because y'all are younger than me, but I can pick it up and I can relate and talk to y'all in the same jargon. But I can walk out this door, go put on a suit, and go sit at that table with that judge and talk to him like he talked to everybody else. And you know where I'm going with that, like he talked to them other people. And I can sit at that table and be right in that conversation. And I said, it's not hard. It's not called being a Uncle Tom. It's paying attention.
You listening hard? You listening?
It's paying attention. My partner and I had Dr. Jason Carthen on the show a while back. One of the things he mentioned to us, and he said about this very similar issue, I'm not going to say the same, but very similar issue. And the way he broke it down, he said, well, when you go to that table, you want to be represented. And he said, so they may see you today in your hat, on your show, whatever, in your baseball cap, and your T-shirt and whatever. But somehow, some way you get that business meeting. And you pop up in there with like you're supposed to, with your power suit on, and then you doing what you're doing, and you talking that talk. He said, now you get that ball rolling, and you get them thinking that, oh. And I'm just saying it like so everybody can understand it. So all of them ain't like that. If he's sitting here and he talking to us like that, it's got to be another one somewhere. And the whole point is, like I said, you pay attention to this kind of stuff. And this is the kind of stuff that when you said he didn't kill nobody, but these are the things that they pay attention to. So even if he did dress up and get in that room, that's in the back of their mind. It's like, all right, you said it today. Mm-hmm. Now and in their mind, it's like, who's to say that if we come into a business meeting and things don't go his way, who's to say he's not going to fly off the handle? But we just had a meeting with the other guy that looks just like him, or not like, but looks like him the other day, and we got every confidence that if we go to him with A, B, and C, and it's not to his liking, he going to come back to us with D, E, and F and make that deal happen the right way. He ain't going to fly off the handle. It's going to be, okay, well, give me a day. Or he's going to talk that talk to get himself back in that seat. And, okay, then let's do this way and get that deal done. It's not going to be a fly off the handle. So, again, to Mel's point, hey, Barks, what's happening, homie? The boys, what he said, how it's not, you're right. He didn't shoot anybody, but it's your second time doing it.
We continuously give our counterparts the opportunity to look down on us and talk about us. Continuously.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, if you look at the sports world, who's in the media constantly for these type of incidents? Because it ain't them. Every now and then, you'll hear something.
And you know,
What's the swimming boy name that got caught smoking weed out of
Michael
the ball?
Phelps.
Mike Phelps. Okay. Weed is almost legal now in the United States. I mean, how harsh is that? I'm just trying to point out the differences of why we're viewed in a certain way by most of our counterparts, and some of you don't care.
And you know what the sad part is?
It's not fair. I care.
Yeah, you know what the sad part is, Mel? Now that you just said that, and I'm sure it's going to be some people that's probably not going to understand this.
What's that?
But the sad part of that is the majority of them people are still us.
Boom. And I know some of y'all not gonna like
That's
it.
the sad part of it. The majority of them are us.
Realist, like, and you know,
And I get what you're saying. You said
I forgave him
all
for the
them
first
issues.
time.
I say I get what you're saying. All these issues that are the violent, the extreme, whatever, it's all us.
It's
but
us.
the sad part is, on the flip side of that, the majority of the employees who this stuff happens to is us too.
And that's why we're viewed a certain way. And I mean, it's not fair. I don't think it's fair. But these are the kind of incidents that they look at us like, wow, really? Who does that? Who makes that kind of money would expose themselves on? So I'm not saying nobody's perfect, my callers. Nobody's perfect, watchers and callers.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying, because I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes that I wish I hadn't, but I've learned from them.
We all have.
When you make mistakes,
But that's the key.
you got to learn from them and get better. Get better from a mistake.
You got to receive it, and progress from it. Yeah. And that's why I said, like, it's no way that he shouldn't have received the message. He didn't receive it. Obviously, he didn't, because he did it again.
All right, so we're going to get off job, move along, because I got to get to work. We're going to wrap this up. Real, for my Eagle fans, y'all know I'm a radio guy, but y'all done very well.
That's coming up. That's coming up. We're going to talk that Eagle schedule.
Y'all
done
very well.
Coming up, right on up. Yeah. That's what we're going to get to next. We're going to talk to that Eagle schedule. But it was a great conversation, great dialogue, having you here, Mel. For anybody that tuned in, y'all can catch this video probably. I'm going to give y'all like Wednesday, Thursday maybe to go up on YouTube. So make sure y'all get to that YouTube channel, SportsRap TV, and check it out. And, of course, I'll give y'all all the alerts when it goes up and everything. Everybody from Instagram, y'all, I'm loving the support and everything from Instagram. I'm going to take a quick second, walk my guests out, come back, and we're going to talk Eagles. We're going to talk that schedule. I appreciate the praise too, though, Mel, because Mel don't usually give us Eagles fans, that kind of praise or whatever.
I keep it real.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just, we just doing what we do. Mel's usually hard on us
Always.
Eagles fans, So
Always.
It's good to hear that some things have been noticed by some other people around. That's a good thing, folks. You have been tuned in to the SportsRap Podcast right here on He100 Radio. Took a quick break. I'm going to come right back, and we're going to break down and look at this Eagle schedule, talk some more. Y'all know where to find me. See y'all soon. Yes,
Stay
sir.
safe out there.
_D. SportsRap Podcast, SportsRap CEO on Instagram. It is where I'm at right now. So, listen. We got to talk some Eagles now. I got some schedules. I have the schedule. The schedule was released last week. We got the Eagles schedule. So I've been seeing 13 and 17 games. So 13 and 4. I've been seeing whatever. But let's go through these games and talk this Eagles 2023 schedule. Couple games that I'm actually looking forward to. I also saw an article that said the 5 toughest stretches of schedule in the NFL. The Eagles were ranked 5th on this list. 2 of the games that I'm looking forward to, definitely Week 11 against the Chiefs in KC. And then Week 13 at home at the Link against the 49ers in a rematch of the NFC Championship. So I'm definitely looking forward to that game. But nonetheless, let's get to this schedule so we can get things done and close out here. So we got it, the 17-week schedule. It's here. So the Eagles open up Week 1 in New England against the Patriots. I think that definitely is a winnable game. Then we move on to week 2, Minnesota Vikings. For me, another winnable game there. Week 3, Tampa Bay is not the same Tampa Bay. Monday Night Football, so another win there. The Commanders, we know who they are. They have some quarterback issues, so we'll go a win there. So we're looking at 4-0 through the first 4 weeks, going into week 5, flying out to Los Angeles. Now, a couple of people I've seen have some picks there. They take this game as a loss for the Eagles. I honestly don't. I like the Eagles going across country and winning that game. Some people had the Eagles falling to the Jets in week 6. I guess the Aaron Rodgers factor. Unless some power moves are made prior to the beginning of the season, I don't think it's enough there with Aaron Rodgers right now. The Eagles win that game. Miami Dolphins game. Crazier, stranger things have happened. I'm going to say that they win that game as well. Just because of the Tua and the Jalen Hurts thing. Washington Commanders, week 8. This is one I think that they may end up losing. Just because it might be what they like to say, one of those trap games. Then I think we bounce back at Dallas in week 9 and get a win. Week 10 is a bye, which would probably be a very well needed bye. And then we come back off the bye and we go out to KC. And ironically or not, Monday Night Football, the rematch, I think the Eagles take that game because we feel like we should have beaten them anyway. The Buffalo Bills game, I think that may come out to be a loss there. I think we beat San Fran again there. Yeah, I think we beat them again. Dallas, Sunday night, I'm not. I think we beat Dallas there again. Another trap game that might get us the loss at Seattle. We beat the Giants on Christmas, and then we beat the Cardinals to close out the season. 13-3 is where I'm at, just by looking at this schedule. As we get into training camp, as we get closer down the line, some things may change. Some things may change, as you know, some other moves might be made, some things may happen. Mrs. Stacy One joined. Thanks for tuning in on Instagram. So that's it, folks. That is your Eagles schedule preview. Looking at your schedules coming up for today, we got some Major League Baseball today. You got the Mets and the Nationals, the Angels, Orioles, Yankees, Blue Jays, Mariners, Red Sox, Brewers, Cardinals, Braves, Rangers, Cubs, Astros, Reds, Rockies, D-backs, A's, Royals, Padres, Phillies, Giants, Twins, Dodgers. Tuesday, Game 1, Western Conference Finals. Lakers are in Denver, face off against the Nuggets. And then Wednesday, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1. The Heat are in Boston to face off against the Celtics. Friday, we got some WNBA action. The Sun and the Fever, the Liberty and the Mystics, the Sky and the Lynx and the Mercury and the Sparks. Those are your scores. Those are your schedules. All right. Great dialogue earlier today. Thanks to Mel Raider Rab, as I said, we like to call him, for stopping in today and talking some John Morant and some debacle of Sixers game, what we saw yesterday. Remember, folks, I'm here each and every Monday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Listen, be great on purpose. It's Monday. Talk about the win. Talk until you can't talk no more. Get it out, get it over with, and then let it go. Or the win, the loss. Talk about it, get it over with, let it go. Move on. Eagle season is coming up real soon, so we'll have some bigger and brighter things to look forward to. Again, be great on purpose. You know where to find me. At SportsRap CEO on Instagram and Twitter. SportsRap Podcast LLC is the group page on Facebook. The webpage, sportsrapradio.com. You can also get over to YouTube and get to that channel. subscribe, like the videos that you like, and do all the particulars that you need to do. SportsRap TV. You can get me on audio, Apple, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Spreaker, and most of your podcast outlets. Last thing, I will not be in studio next week. I have some other things I need to do at the time. So listen, PIP, Benny, thanks for tuning in, good brother at the tail end. Appreciate you. Be great on purpose. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy the nice weather that's outside. And stay tuned all week on social media. I'll see you then and on social media next week. Peace. Have a good day, y'all.